Hi, this is Martin Pitella from Life Enthusiast. And today with me is Bob Peterson, one of our long time customers. Hello, Bob. Welcome.
All right. Hi. How you doing, Martin? Good.
I'm doing fine. Considering the years I've been around, I'm doing just fine. Bob, how long has it been since you started buying the Exsula products?
I was trying to figure that. I think I think it's been 24 years.
1999, 98, like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's been 24 years. I think that's what it was. That's what I figured it. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So I guess well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you remember how world was for you before or during or after you started using the products?
Yeah. I remember a friend of mine had just passed away from cancer, pancreatic cancer at a very early age. And and the kind of the light bulb went off in my head, and because my parents were also not doing real well, so I kind of decided that I was going to try to not go down those roads, and not I didn't want to end up like my friend, and I didn't want to end up like my parents. So I decided that I was going to do everything in my power to make sure that I did not that never happened to me. And I was talking to a lady who was involved with another business with me, and she had told me about the products. I think the product that she introduced me to first was a started with a Q. I can't remember the name of it. It was a long time ago.
Stuff that we made?
Yeah, yeah,
All right. Yeah, so I think you're thinking of Quantium.
right, right. It was kind of I would describe it as an iridescent light. It was a good product. I liked it. I took it, and then I from there I sort of kind of got interested in other products that Exsula had, and so I said, well, and then I started one by one. I just started buying. I think I've used nearly all of them. I don't know if I use all of them, but I use a lot of them, most of them, I'd say.
Mhm. So what do you
And
use? Yeah, what do you use these days?
well, I use the iridescent. I use the Strataflora. I use the CoQ10, the lecithin. I use Oracil 1200. I use Elagiplex. I use the new liver formula. I use the heart studies formula. I use the coral calcium. I use the Ormus. I use some other one. Oh, the Aura Greens. I use the Aura Greens.
I remember even seeing an order recently
Yeah, and, like
for
the
the
green
dolls.
chlorella, the Nova Scotia dulse. I probably use about 20 products, maybe. Yeah.
Hmm. That's really good because you really now know them all, right?
Yeah, I just feel jazzed every time I take the product. I take so many different things. Uh, I'm just like I'm a real nut, I guess. But I make a smoothie in the morning with about 45 different products in it, and
That's
and it's
that's quite the concoction. We call it the dog's breakfast, right?
yeah, and I got to tell you what, about 20 minutes after I have it, I just feel immeasurably good. I just feel so good. I feel like taking a run around the block. I just feel like $1 million. I've got friends they're on the way out. They're in wheelchairs. They're starting that whole entourage of the medical establishment that is set up, and they've got their walkers and their canes and and it's just it's just for a fact that they're going down the wrong road, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it is kind of difficult. My biggest challenge with friends or acquaintances has been that even if I tell them what I do, they don't ask a question. And even if I try to tell them that I would know how to help them because I know stuff, they don't care to know.
But but people are just starting to get more proactive. I have another friend of mine he's a couple of years older than I am, and he's really starting to get enamored when he looks at me and I tell him things, and he's just starting to he's calling me now all the time. What should I do for this? What should I feel a headache. What should he's got all kinds of things, and he's surrounded himself for many years with about six different doctors, and they've been his go-to people but now I'm becoming his go-to person.
It's kind of interesting. So
Yeah.
let's talk a bit more about the specifics. So you have no complaints that you know of, like health-wise?
I really don't. The only thing that I have the only nagging, silly, dumb problem I have is I have a problem in my big toe on my right foot, and I think it might be gout. But then again, I don't understand how it could be because
well, I could tell you a story about that. There are two ways to get gout. One is with too much red meat, and the other one is with too much carbohydrate, too much starch.
I see.
So depends which you might be using.
It would have to be it would have to be the latter, because I don't eat meat. I don't even eat meat
at all.
I don't even eat meat. I mean,
yeah,
I don't purposely eat meat. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so that would be, insulin. When you eat too much starchy food, you raise insulin too high. It does two things. It puts excess fat on your body, and it causes gouty pain in the joints.
I see. So what would that be? What would that look like as far as food?
What specific foods would be causing that?
Yeah.
Potatoes, rice, sweet potatoes, grains, wheat, bread.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that falls into that category that I eat, I do have a gluten-free bread that I have, multi-grain gluten-free bread.
Yeah, and that will be probably hard to give up.
Well, I really love, one of the things I really love in the middle of the day, strangely enough, is I like to have an egg sandwich.
You could call it omelet and skip the bread. Have it with some veggies, salad on the side.
Yeah.
Or maybe veggies inside the omelet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, it would be an experiment you'd have to try for about a month. All right. So, well, that's not a huge complaint that I know of, because it doesn't really stop you from walking about or doing your work.
No, it has. I work. My schedule of work is so erratic. Some days I'll work 10 or 12 hours, and some days I don't work at all. So it's, and probably the average day I work about a half a day.
Well, so minimal health complaints. You probably are not on any pharmaceuticals, I guess, right?
No, I don't take anything. I don't even take aspirin. I don't take anything. No.
That's awesome, right? Like, that's so unexpected. Whenever I go to a medical something, the first question out of their mouth is, what drugs are you taking? It's not, do you take any? No, which ones are you taking? Oh. Right?
I go to people's houses, and some of these people, they have an entire tray of probably 100 different drugs they take.
The funny thing is, of course, it's coming through them into the toilet and down into the.
Yeah, I mean, you can't criticize anybody, because they are my customers. You can't.
I wouldn't criticize them even if they weren't. It's their choices.
Yeah.
So, I guess you can really now call yourself the product of the product itself, because with 25 or 24 years behind you, that's pretty much is what's built you now.
Yeah, I I feel great. I mean, I don't have any complaints. I'll take like it's not summer now, but in the summertime, I go for a bike ride, 5 days a week, probably like about 45-mile bike ride. And then during the winter months, well, we're in the beginning of winter now.
Yeah, there's not much more one could say other than get on a smoothie every day, make a drink. I mean, it's quite simple to do, right?
Very, yeah. That really, I could live. There are days when I'll have, if I have my smoothie late enough in the day. Let's just say if I have if I have an emergency or whatever, I have to leave here early. I'll usually just wolf down the heart studies formula, and I'll take the heart studies formula and CoQ10, and then I add a vitamin C product, Camu to it.
Yes.
And then I'll leave, and then I'll, if I have to, if I don't have my superfoods, let's just say until maybe 2 o'clock, I may not even have a dinner. I mean, that may be it for the day. I mean, that's
Yeah.
I might
It's
have
really sustaining. Yeah.
it really is. You can be totally incredibly hungry and have your smoothie, and that really fills you up. It really does.
Mm. So do you mix it with anything or just straight with water?
I just mix it with water. I have a water structuring unit. In fact, I have two water structuring units, and then I put it through this I don't know if you're familiar with this natural action
Yeah,
technologies.
absolutely.
I put it through that, and
Clayton, what was his last name?
Nolte, I think
Nolte,
it is.
yeah, Clayton Nolte. That's who invented it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I put it through that, and then I have this wand. It's called a halo. I don't know if you ever heard of halo.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I structure it with that, and then I have this Terra. What is it called?
Oh yeah, iTerra wand.
Yeah, I have that. And I magnetize the water with that.
Yeah, I have one of those here too. It's an awesome tool.
And then so then I have that water waiting for me cold in the refrigerator. So what I'll do is I take 8 ounces of green tea. I put that in the cup, and then I take 4 ounces of tart cherry juice, and then I add about maybe 16 ounces of the water.
Yeah.
And then I put all the superfoods right in that.
Right. So it's quite a tall drink.
Yeah, it's a quart. It's a quart.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do something similar. I make 32-ounce smoothies. Yeah.
You know what? I used to use juice, but I think juice tends to make me heavy, and I there's a lot of calories.
Yeah. Well, the tart cherry is really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I used to use like apple, pure apple juice or pure. And it's like if you make a tall apple juice, that's like having 20 apples or something.
Yeah,
10 apples.
That's a lot of sugar. That's just way too much energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've learned to enjoy it with less of that. It's more.
Yeah. Well, it's great. Do you have any message to the world? Like, hey, people, here's what you.
Well, people have to take the time to educate themselves and the reason I like, for instance, like the iridescent is that it, Javari, when he made that product, he took the cross section of the body, took every system in the body, cross section by cross section, and he says, well, what does the heart need? What does the liver need? What do the kidneys need? What does your brain need? What do your muscles need? So he took all of that and he came up with the best of the best of the best of the best and the best source of the best and concocted that product. And it's a magnificent product. I mean, there's nothing I don't think there's anything you can put in your body that can even beat it. There's just nothing that can beat that. You can't go wrong, you know.
We keep testing, and no, there's nothing like it out there. And most companies, most manufacturers don't really feel like putting together 350 ingredients. It's quite tedious.
Right? You just can't. You can't pot. And if let's just say you had a really sloppy day and you ate some junk that you shouldn't really have eaten. You know, you went to someone's house and they were serving something that really wasn't that great, but you ate it because you didn't want to be discourteous, and maybe you didn't have a good eating day. But if you had the iridescent, then you at least have the foundation covered, you know, and then so your body thanks you, you know, and that's the thing. Your body thanks you for giving it a slice of the best, you know, you're not cheating yourself out of anything, you know. So that's the way it goes.
Agreed. That is the most complete, and that is probably not going to get easily beaten because it's hard to make.
Yeah, and it's if you took ingredient by ingredient and you tried to duplicate it, you probably spend $300 or $400, you know, on for something.
I did that. I went to a health food store and I started shopping for the components. And when you put everything that's in it in your shopping cart, you end up spending about $500 on the $150 bottle of iridescent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's all there. It's easy. It's very easy to take. It mixes real easy with whatever you want to mix it with. And it, you know, you could put it in a shaker cup that mixes it like almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
I have a little mixer cup I got from Dr. Brown's. Dr. Brown, it's a baby formula mixing.
Yeah.
But I like it. I it's kind of odd, but I like it. And
it's like a fork on a stick that spins, right?
Yeah. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll mix it and I'll just bring it with me, you know, and it just sits in my car waiting for me when I want to have it, you know, and here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is good for about 2 days after mixing anyway, so it's quite all right.
Yeah, right. If you put it in the refrigerator or something, it probably holds real well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Bob, thank you so very much for sharing of yourself and your time and the wisdom. It's been one with time, a lot of testing, right?
Yeah, that sure is.
Thank you, Bob. This is Martin at Life Enthusiast and Bob Peterson, 24-year veteran of Exsula Superfoods. Thank you.